going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex update. And today we got spoilers that are coming to us for the official manga chapter, which drops on the 20th officially. But as always, I'll review the chapter itself either on the day of the official release or in the next couple of days after it drops, so everyone has a chance to read the official chapter before I get my thoughts. And also, so my editor who does those reviews for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex that you guys have been enjoying each month with that updated editing, that gives them time to cook up the reviews. Now, the spoilers that we have are coming to us directly from the official Naruto account, so this is information that the people at Shueisha want you to have. No different than a movie studio dropping a teaser trailer or a trailer for the movie. However, for those of you guys who want to go into chapter blind, obviously now is your chance to click off the video. But before you do, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my non-Naruto channel, KRYPTONIAN, which also has Naruto videos over there, which is less than 100 subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers and hitting that milestone where series like Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling, Demon Slayer, and so much more get discussed in long form video format as well as in shorts. I'll leave the link down in the description box. Much appreciated if you would subscribe there. So the official account for Naruto dropped a page off from the manga chapter. We see Mitsuki and Kawaki on the page, and my good friend Luana from Twitter translated what was said here. In short, we're getting Mitsuki's internal monologue here, and in it, what we're seeing are signs that Mitsuki might be waking up to the truth about the omnipotence, just as Ada told Sarda back in chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, where she said trying to force people to realize that their memories have been altered is next to impossible, because people will default back to their memories without any questions being asked, because they're more likely to trust their memory of events over what you're telling them really took place. Instead, you have to drop breadcrumbs and let them come to the realization on their own, which is what Amato did when he started inspecting Kawaki's body, saying, wait a minute, this don't look right. And Sasuke did to a lesser degree, where given all the overwhelming evidence, he was still unsure, but he said, hey, I don't trust my memories and it scares the hell out of me. And what Shikamaru is currently doing by gathering more info directly from Boruto himself so he can come to his own conclusions. Well, in the promotional spoiler, it looks like Mitsuki is on a similar route as Shikamaru, though I will give the disclaimer, we don't know when the monologue of Mitsuki is taking place. But longtime viewers, you guys know my stance, which is that at some point when Mitsuki and Boruto begin trading blows, Mitsuki has leveled up to a high enough level, Boruto's going to reach him through communication via fist in a way that words won't reach, because he's a high level shinobi and he's going to stir something up inside of Mitsuki in the process because of chakra. So to paraphrase what Luana is saying is happening in the spoiler, is basically Mitsuki is thinking about Kawaki and says that as long as there is a sun like Kawaki that lights up Mitsuki as his moon, Mitsuki will continue to shine, because the moon cannot shine without sunlight. He calls it his meaning to his life, and that it gives him a reason to live, and that this is the first time he's been able to think like that. Based off of the positioning, this appears to be Mitsuki thinking back of what occurred just before he knocked out Kawaki, and it might be Mitsuki thinking, giving his explanation as to why he did what he did, which I do understand. You want to add that extra clarity in there for those types of reasons when Boruto's anime returns in a few years, but I think that part is a bit unnecessary, to be honest. Again, this is out of context, but just based off what we see, I do think it is unnecessary, because the story already did a good job in the last chapter letting us know why Mitsuki did what he did without having to spoon feed us the answer. However, again, I get it, most shonen fans, when it comes to subtle writing, things tend to go over their head unless it's backed up and expounded upon and spoon fed to them. On the other hand, I do think it's worth looking at the potential angle, which is, given the manga panel does appear to be Mitsuki's internal monologue, this could be a page that transitions to Mitsuki making the connections that Kawaki isn't the son who he thought he was, and you see a quarter panel or a half page spread of Boruto after this, because it will fit the way that Ikimoto tends to use panels to guide you to the impact shot, and there are seeds that are being planted there for the dialogue. That's one of the drawbacks I do have with Ikimoto, is that when he uses flashbacks in the story, there isn't black inking to the background to differentiate between the present and the past tense, like we'll see in, say, Naruto's manga or in One Piece and a few other manga, but that's more of a stylistic choice, which again, that comes from his influence from Akira Toriyama, the Dragon Ball mangaka, who didn't use a ton of inking and screen tones in his art. This could be a flashback that transitions over to present day, and this could be Mitsuki's thoughts showing us in mid-battle as Boruto's fists are lacking malice behind their punches. It ends up reaching Mitsuki, which that would make the most sense. He was always going to be one of the hardest to reach when it came to proving Boruto's innocence because of how emotionally invested he was. Mitsuki, before the omnipotence, was shown saying that the mere thought of someone trying to kill Boruto left him unable to control himself. His emotions immediately go to 10 when it comes to Boruto. Something that Sarada pointed out when Mitsuki was asking her, how do you really feel about Boruto? And Sarada says, hey, you get more worked up over Boruto than I do. When Mitsuki learned that Kawaki had previously killed Boruto, he was one of the first one out there with Sasuke and Shikamaru tracking down Kawaki, saying it's green light season, and he flat out disregarded in order to stand down when the hunt for Kawaki began, because when it comes to Boruto, his emotions always get the better of him. By the time Omnipotence was casted and he now had his memories of Boruto and Kawaki switched, he was attacking Boruto and he couldn't see past his own anger in that situation. The intensity of his anger has only grown stronger in the 3 years since all that went down, enough so that when Kawaki was standing in his presence and the conversation shifted to Boruto, the guy's bloodlust was so overpowering and so overwhelming that Kawaki was complaining about it. So there is something to that, what we're seeing here with Mitsuki going off of the deep end. However, in order to cure a sickness like this, you have to do what Boruto said he was going to do at the end of the last manga chapter, which is, with some things you can only get a real payoff if you go through some pain, because sometimes to heal, the pain is a requirement and there's no getting around it. It's like when I got that surgery in my mouth last fall and I had to burn through pretty much all the videos I was saving for a later release because I couldn't record because of the work done on my mouth. The pain from that surgery I had on my jaw, it hurt like hell, even with the painkillers I had, but I'm better off for it now than I was several months ago, and it's the same thing here. Boruto is gonna have to break a few bones of Mitsuki's and leave a few bruises, but he's going to come out better for it, which is why I think we have to strongly consider this possibility that what we're seeing here is Mitsuki's soul waking up to the possibility of there being something wrong with his memories, and the foreshadowing was there as far back as chapter 1, where he was questioning if Kawaki was really the sun to his moon. And as we raised in the chapter review last month, we don't know how much of the conversation Mitsuki overheard with Kawaki and Ada, where Damon talked about the lie that Kawaki told to everyone and that Kawaki would be getting exposed. A battle of Boruto versus Mitsuki might be playing out as Mitsuki's way to see for himself if there's a difference between Boruto and Kawaki, because you have to believe Mitsuki did train with Kawaki, so he's felt the chakra that comes from Kawaki's fist and it felt foreign to him. And when he fights against Boruto, he's gonna feel something that in his soul is gonna tell him that this is his real son. The same way that Shikamaru wants to verify for himself what's going on with Kawaki and Boruto by gathering intel and following the plan that is being adjusted as he speaks to Boruto and learns more of what's going on. Now, that's not something that we can fully discount here, though there is a possibility that this is simply Mitsuki still wrapped up in his own emotions, and it's going to take more verbal abuse at the hands of Kawaki and more interactions with a peaceful Boruto that will end up breaking him through the fog of his own memory manipulation. So it can really go either way, but one thing we can say for certain is that this battle of Mitsuki versus Boruto holds some huge implications moving forward as we move down the path of Boruto reclaiming the kingdom that was stolen by Kawaki. While it wasn't the sexiest leak that we have gotten in the last 2 months, like with chapter 5 where you had Boruto training with Sasuke, and in chapter 6 where you see Mitsuki attacking Boruto, it bears stressing every single time we get these leaks, whether it be promotional leaks like this or it be illegal leaks from scanlators that will probably be coming out in the next couple of days. I have to stress again, wait for the full chapter and don't just knee-jerk react based off of out of context information. Like my guy Breeze said over on Twitter earlier today, it's the same thing with this fandom for the last 6 years. We get the raw scans, the fandom gets hyped, people complain about the art that ends up getting corrected in the physical volumes, people complain about the plot without any context, the chapter drops, the issues people people complain about are addressed in the chapter because there's context. The fandom waits for the next chapter 2 weeks before the chapter drops, so fandom complains again. Even though we're less than 2 weeks away from the release, it's an out of context page. Take it as a teaser. The same with the spoilers that will be dropping this weekend. Take it as a teaser. There's a reason I wait each time I cover the spoilers that drop. I wait for full context via the chapter before making any judgments. Even as far back as when Organic Dinosaur took time out of her super busy schedule to translate spoilers and did it without any profit incentive on top of that. I waited for the whole chapter because there was still context missing. Even though I would cover the spoilers, I wouldn't rush to judgment until I read the chapter for myself. So for now, this is all we'll have, but keep notifications turned on because when the spoilers drop this weekend with more details, I'll be getting back to you guys with an in-depth spoiler video. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to that KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN channel. We're less than 40 subs away from 100,000 subscribers over there, where I discuss other anime and manga. Finally, if you're waiting for the Boruto manga chapter, click on this playlist you see on the screen with updated quality for the edits for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex with the chapter reviews, particularly chapters 2 through chapter 6. If you want to get your Boruto fix, to hold you over until the chapter drops next week.